Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogollon Monster here, and welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF as I like to call it. Great to see everybody in chat already. Stevie B, Mr. Lee 3PO, what's up? Robin Ward, hello. Whit, what's going on? What else did I see in here just now? Barry Browning, what's up, dude? How's it going, brother? One funny man. Iron Dogger, how are you? Wowzers, so many good shows on tonight. Oh, great. Pressure's on. No, it's all good. Mike, what's happening? Who else is here? Daniel Lundy, what's going on? Right on. Yeah, there does seem to be a lot of shows on tonight. Seems that Thursdays is becoming a popular night, but that's all right. You know, that's why I go on late. I don't even know who's still on. Who is still on anyway? Let's find out, shall we? I know that's goofy. Oh, look, I'm on. All right, text is over. Yeah, we're good. It's that late night. Guys, I have nothing planned tonight. Just kicking it. Starting to feel a little bit more like home now. You know, I got the flag up and stuff starting to. Bob Van Buren, what's up, man? Yeah, it's starting to feel like home. Finally getting comfortable. Lynn, if you're watching, I'm using your pad. It's nice in my ass. Mr. Lee 3PO, yeah, it's inevitable. You know, it's all this Florida sunshine, and I try to stay out in it as much as possible. You know, or spend most of my time outside. Thanks, Whit. I did, Shaz. I found the sticker, man. WTF, welcome to Florida. We know what it stands for. It's all right. Livewire, what's up, Mark? Satch Squatch. Rex. Great to see everybody here, man. Wow. Paul T, what's going on? Hey, Murray. All right on. Sandy Clemens, hello. How are you? So I am going to get those addresses for you, Sandy, for those mugs, or you'll send them to me or whatever. We'll figure it out. But yeah, thank you so much for that. That's really wonderful, and I won't stop thanking you. Wow, I look tired. We'll just say I'm tired. Mokes has, I don't know, Rex. Mokes has a bigger smile now that he's in Florida. You know what? I'm smiling because I can. Thank you. Hola, Juanita. I can start to relax. You know, we got through the expedition. I'm getting things done around here. I still have unpacking to do. You know, it's going to take a while. I started getting out the fishing gear. Start putting things together. I want to get out, you know, soon and just wet some lines. It's been a while, you know. So, but yeah, it's it's feeling like home, you know. And I'm comfortable. My dogs are getting comfortable, even though, you know, they're not used to other dogs, and there are 6 other dogs. 4 large, 2 littles, you know, from German Shepherd to 2 yellow labs to a golden retriever to a French bulldog. You know, it's like watching a French bulldog trying to hump a German Shepherd. It's funny as hell. I'll have to film it. But yeah, my dog's in heat, and well, you know how that goes. Yeah, Shaz, it's been hectic. But yeah, I did it, and you guys did it. You know, you guys helped me do it. You know, you got me here. Um, had an amazing time, amazing experience with the expedition, and now here I am, and Lynn, keep cracking that whip on him. That's funny, dude. Yeah, so I'm getting things done around here. I'm glad I'm able to, you know, help out. There's other, you know, places that I got to find some other work as well. Um, Herc has found his special purpose. Herc, short for Hercules, is a French bulldog. He's all head, little body. And I'm surprised he just doesn't walk on his front paws. You know, looks all top heavy. But yeah, he's got it in for my Maya, and he's trying. He needs a step ladder, but he's trying. Scotty B, what's happening, man? Good to see you. Yeah, and there's a lot to do around here. Like the other day, Lynn and I we took a ride over to these Calusa Indian mounds, and that was pretty interesting. We just went to ask questions if there was any weird dealings over there, if they saw lights or anything, because you know, we're trying to figure out if what we were seeing up there, you know, what that may have been. You know, were they spirits? Were they orbs? I'm still gonna, you know, do my thing and figure out what they were. I have a good idea, and I'll figure it out. And then November we get to do it again, and it's good because, you know, it was a good test run for me. I mean, that was the first time out. It was a few of ours, you know, first time out, and November I'll be more prepared. You know, right now I lost a lot of weight. You know, between in the past month I've dropped. If that scale is right, I dropped over 20 pounds. um, which is funny. When I was at the expedition the first night or the first morning, and I met Blake from Lost Cryptid. What the hell is it? I know I have a sticker around here. Lost Cryptid Conservatory. He walked up to me. He's like, "Dude, you look heavier on your show." I guess because I lost a lot of weight, and this is where you see it first is my face. So yeah, I stepped on the scale. It said like almost I was under 204. It's like, damn, I haven't been this weight in ages. But hey, you know, I got to get my beach body back. So I mean, there's a pool in the back. I haven't even touched it. I mean, I cleaned it, but I haven't jumped in it yet. I'm waiting for it to get hot. You know, it was like 80 something today. It was a nice day. Craig, what's up, Papa Craig? Paul Holland, what's going on? Judy Wheeler, hello. So yeah. Lynn, I'm using, like I said, I'm using your cushion because I wouldn't survive. My ass was just messed up after the last show. I'm sitting in one of these camp chairs and I just ripped the arm off of it. And it's a mess. And it's way too big for this space. So, what else? Ida Bustamante. Hello. How are you? So yeah, guys, anybody is feeling froggy and wants to jump on, hit me up, monstermogollon@gmail.com. And I'll send you a link. Otherwise, we'll see how that goes, or I'll put the link in the chat. It's always an option. Because I want you guys to come on and tell me your story, Mr. Lee 3PO. Well, we know he isn't coming on, pussy. I'm fucking with you. Yeah, so I'll do that in a little bit. I'm gonna put the link in chat. Let me copy it actually. And if anybody wants to use it, feel free. Again, I didn't plan a show. I'm still I'm not in full YouTube mode yet. I'm still just trying to get my routine going. It's gonna take a little while, but I'll get there. But yeah, I still got some more things I got to put up behind me. I think my Jimi Hendrix poster got a little messed up. Got all dog-eared and whatnot. No, it's not too bad. I think it'll fit in there. Yeah, it'll fit. Oh, yeah, I didn't put the lights up. What do you guys think? Should I put the lights back up? I don't know if they're going to... I'd have to push the desk out a little, and there's not a lot of room in here, because Lynn has also got she's setting up a studio right next to me, kind of catty corner. I took one wall, she took that wall, and it's going to work out good. But yeah, I do hear a tapping now, and it's part of that damn fan. It's a fan. Well, I took care of the smoke detector because that was annoying as fuck. Somebody couldn't watch because their dog was getting upset. And I said, you'll never hear it again. And sure enough, they were on Tuesday night and they called me a man of my word because they didn't hear it again. But it was funny. Miss Real Deal, how are you, hon? Thank you very much. Still got more stuff to put up, but it's getting there. My little wolf pup. Sandra Piper, hello. There are new 9-volt batteries on the table. Right on. I can put the smoke detector back up. It's fucked up when the honey-do list shows up on your chat. That's funny. What else? What am I doing? Yeah, let me check my email. And it's not a honey-do list. It's just things that things I need to get done, and I'm whacking them. Excuse me, whacking it out. I'm getting them done. Just pounding shit out. So it still doesn't sound right. I'll shut up now. Yeah, I'll do that, Murray. Let me see. Let's try Gmail. All right, guys, I just got to send a link out real quick. What's that for?
Dogman.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. I'll explain in a second. Yeah, Murray, you're probably in my other email. There we go. All right, Murray, it's on its way. So, how the do I get out of this? I'm so trying not to push the wrong button right now. So, Lynn just hands me this, and it's funny because I said the other day I had a smaller one of these, and it's the ball chucker, and I have a smaller one. I was going to put the ball in it and encase it in glass, and I put it up here and just it would say in case of dog man break glass. Because if there's any, I mean, shit, what dog doesn't like chasing a ball? It's silly, but Mark Dodman, good day, man. How are you? All right, here we go.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And there, Murray. I don't even know if these things. How are you, Murray?
Shut the TV off. I think that's gonna help.
No, you sound good. I don't hear anything. No background noise.
Yeah, that's good.
How you been?
Oh, I'm okay. Had a little excitement last night.
Oh, do tell.
Something was hitting the house.
Really?
Yeah, you could hear it thump, thump. It wasn't like somebody was slapping the house. Not that hard. It was just like dirt clods or something.
Oh, really?
I yelled out, "Hey, I know you're out there. Knock it off!" And then it stopped. So I don't know what the hell it was.
Wow.
That was about 3 a.m.
That seems to be a popular hour for activity.
Yeah, witching hour, I guess they call it.
Well, between 3 and 5, or just before the sun comes up, you always hear that activity stops just as soon as the sun starts to come up.
Yeah, well.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. What was that?
I say the days are getting longer now, so.
Yeah, thank God.
For a change.
I'm tired of winter. I mean, it's been beautiful here, but it just seemed like it dragged on too long. Like in Arizona, it took forever. It would get nice, and then all of a sudden it would snow. I was like, what the hell? So yeah, I'm ready for the warm weather.
Yeah, it won't stay on very long. You probably got somebody else that wants to come on.
Not yet. That's why I said I'll probably put the link in chat. Maybe Mark will jump on Livewire, or Duke, or somebody will pop on.
Yeah, sure.
What's up, Duke? Good to see you. Karen, welcome. So what else is going on? I mean, did you like go out and check the house? Was it like dirt clods that they were throwing, or?
Well, I went outside.
I say they. I don't.
I didn't really see anything. Like it's stucco on the west side of the house, so I thought, well, if it was dirt, sure, you should be able to see marks.
Sure.
I couldn't see anything, but we had a shower early this morning, so I may have washed it off. But yeah, I don't know. Lots of pine cones in the backyard because we have pine trees out here, but that may have been what was hitting the house. I don't know. It just seemed kind of strange,
Yeah, when I was out on that expedition, we were in this area, and we're sitting in a pavilion, and I just kept listening to like behind me in this one area, and I heard something fall out of a tree that it sounded like a coconut. Oh. But somebody said there wasn't any coconut trees there, but I don't know. But it was weird. It had that thud to it, like a solid thunk.
Yeah, yeah.
So there were other noises back there, but.
Well, I remember years ago when I was a kid, something hit the roof of the house, and it woke Dad up, and Dad came into the bedroom, and he said, "Hey, did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah, I heard it. What the hell was that?" But we didn't go outside. It was the middle of the night when this was back in late 60s. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So we never did figure out what it was. I think Dad went out and had a look, and there was a rock on the roof.
Huh.
Where the
Wow.
hell did that come from? You know? So, I don't know.
How big was the rock?
Yeah. It wasn't a very big one. Back then, still had shingles on the house. But no, it's sheet metal.
Yeah, that's fascinating that you had activity around your house. That's just
Well, I think it's been going on for a long time. We just never really paid attention to it. Yeah, that incident I had last fall, that was kind of scary for me because I'm out here by myself. So.
Mid-South Sasquatch cryptid research says, and they'll throw their shit like monkeys do too. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that years ago at the San Diego Zoo.
Hope they don't bite their nails.
Because everybody was pestering them, and then they started throwing their poop at everybody. Filthy animals.
Nice little Planet of the Apes nod there.
We got the hell out of the way, I'll tell you. A few people got hit, but
well, yeah, it's a good idea when shit's flying to duck.
Yeah, for sure.
Just seeing who else. Uncle Bones, what's happening? Derek McManus, good to see you. Western New York Bigfoot Research Organization, still too fucking long. That's a long name.
Yeah, need an acronym for that one.
Yeah. Because right now it would be Winbro, WYNBRO. WNY, I should say. I'm suddenly dyslexic.
Yeah. Just don't hit the wrong button.
Dude, I'm notorious for that. It's a shame,
Oh, well.
You think I'd learn by now, don't touch the button in the corner. I almost did it just now because when I pulled up the email to send out the link, it doesn't close, so I always go to close it in that corner, but I just minimized it instead. I didn't want to touch that because Moves, you know what? Oh, there's some feedback. Mr. Lee 3PO says, Mogs, are you starting a fishing channel? I want to do something with fishing, definitely.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, be it kayak fishing, or just shore fishing. I don't have a boat, so I do have access to a kayak. Thank you, Lynn. But yeah, and get some. I don't know about GoPros, or I'll figure out some cameras that are waterproof, or I can get casings and mount them on the kayak and take you guys fishing. I think that would be cool as hell. And that's Sandy. I had said that. That's funny because when I was going to travel around, I was going to call it Monster Travels, and then since I'm down here, I was going to call it Monster Fishing or Monster, whatever. So it's cool that you said that, Sandy. It's kind of got the double meaning.
What if I smoke?
What's that?
I'm trying to find my cigarettes. I have too many pockets.
Dukes is just tame a manatee and use it for a kayak. I don't know what that clicking noise is. It's not from my side.
I'll tell you what. I'll close out. Maybe it'll stop. You get somebody else on.
Well, you didn't have to do that. It's just I hear a clicking noise.
Well, I hear it too. I think it's the iPhone. I think. Well,
thank you so much for coming on, Murray. I appreciate it. you're more than welcome anytime to come back.
Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, night, everybody. Oh, just watch that. Okay, later.
Take care. That was nice of Murray to pop on. And that noise is gone. Thanks again, Murray. So yeah, anybody else wants to pop on, you know what I'm going to do? If Duke or anybody, doesn't matter, no pressure. I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot. Let me post. All right, I just posted the link in chat, so feel free to use it. Sorry, just looking at chat. Murray, don't apologize, dude. I'm glad you came on. Thank you very much for coming on. We'll get you on again. No worries. See any armadillos? No, not here. Mid-South says, I've been thinking of getting a kayak to go to these islands on Lake Norfolk. You should, man. I don't have that much experience kayaking. I did it in actually up on the Mogollon Rim. I kayaked up there. But I'm a big guy. I kind of need a bigger kayak. So I'm a little wider to keep my ass from out of the water. All right, who we got here? Satch Squatch, what's up, man?
Hey, man. What's up, Mogs?
How you doing?
All right, I've been waiting to talk to you for a while, man.
Oh, right on. Well, here you are.
Look, I'm
digging the shirt right off the bat. Kiss, gotta love it.
Wait a minute, I got some back feed here. Hang on. There we go. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
All right, great. I had to close my other window. I was getting back feed on myself there. Oh, yeah, I've been waiting to talk to you for a while. Yeah, I like my Kiss shirt, man. It's one of my favorite bands, dude.
Right on.
Look, I had to get on, man. Whiny bro. That's all you got to say. Yeah. Whiny bro. I made it that way on purpose. When I was trying to come up with names, I was like, all right, what am I going to do? Well, let's see. There was already a Western New York Bigfoot research. So I couldn't do that. So I'm like, well, finally it came down. I'm like, well, I want the acronym to sound like something. So I'm like, well, let me throw organization at the end of it. And then I went Western New York Bigfoot Research Organization. Yeah, that's cool. Wait a minute, what's that acronym? Whiny bro. Whiny bro. But I'm like, it's stuck. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll be whiny bro, man.
Well, right on.
How do you like it down there in Florida, man? Many skunk apes?
So far, so good. Still getting settled in. Haven't seen any skunk apes yet, but I'm looking.
I was watching that one you were doing. You were out there that night seeing orbs or something.
Yeah, we were seeing some lights. I'm trying. I have an idea of what it was, so I'm going to investigate that more. I was up there last week again. We checked that out, and now I want to do some experiments and try to debunk it.
Yeah. That's the thing I've become interested in more, because there's so many different reports and encounters of people saying during their encounter, and these are people all over the country, don't know each other. They all start describing, the same types of things, so I'm like, well, yeah, it sounds far out of this world and everything, but it's starting to form a pattern. So there's got to be something to it. So
and that's the way you got to turn down the volume on something. That's the way I've been looking at things is the patterns, when I started to get into all these Sasquatch stories, watching or listening to Sasquatch Chronicles, that's the first thing I noticed was all these different, all similar patterns in all these different stories. And, and anybody that, paid attention, they know what I'm talking about, just mannerisms and whatever. And, but then we get down, and I hear all these other researchers that are looking down here in Florida that have done elsewhere. Yeah, they've looked in wherever, Tennessee, they've looked, all around, but they come to Florida and apparently it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
You don't get, like Mark Newell said, you don't get the structures, the tree structures or the, we didn't experience that. But somebody said they saw a glyph, like an asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing something, but
Right.
it's different.
Right. Yeah, and the orb thing fascinates me, man.
The orb thing,
because I've seen orbs and I've seen a Sasquatch. Never seen them in conjunction with each other.
I've only seen an orb once.
Yeah. Myself included. I've only seen it once. My wife witnessed it with me. We were camping and it was circling our tent. It was an orb. I'm like, I don't know what it is. Now, wow. I didn't hear, it wasn't accompanied by some kind of visitation by a Sasquatch. At least I didn't hear anything. It was just an orb. But it's just something I've been wanting to look into. And people have asked, people that have known me a while are like, oh man, has Joe gone off his nut, man? Is he, what's wrong with him now? He's starting to think, he was all about Gigantopithecus and now he's starting to look into the weird stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm only being fair, man.
Yeah, you can't rule shit out.
And I'm being curious, man. I just, something came to me and said, look, man, you gotta at least have the curiosity, even if you don't believe any of this other stuff. You get these patterns for me, you gotta at least have the curiosity to at least investigate it.
Absolutely.
You don't know if there's something to it or not. There may be. So the orb thing really. Plus, I used to know an old Seneca guy, part of the Seneca Nation here in New York when I was a kid. He told me all about Sasquatch, which they call the One Yarhe here. And he mentioned, he told me about the orbs and Sasquatch and stuff. So you got that from a native perspective. They're talking about it. Then you got other people that are having encounters and describing the same thing. So you're like, well, now his take on it was, of course, he said some people think it's ancestors that follow them around. Some people think it's other forest spirits that accompany them. And others think that it is something that they do themselves, that they can summon the light or they can manipulate energy to do that, which I find fascinating. So
we have cdsquatcher joining us. How are you, hon?
Howdy.
I'm good. How are you? It's nice to see you.
Doing you as well.
Yes, I can hear
Welcome.
you.
Great.
Thank you. I'm your neighbor. I'm down here in Florida.
Where in Florida are you?
Well, I'm about where 60 and 27 cross, right in the middle of the state, between Tampa and Orlando.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with the state yet. But yeah, no, that's not too far.
Takes a while.
Yeah.
No.
It's different driving down here, definitely. People are a little
Florida.
crazy.
It's not as bad as, wait, I'm trying to get in the frame. Okay. It's not as bad as Detroit or Chicago.
I guess not. I mean, I've driven. I used to drive daily in Manhattan, and that didn't scare me as much as driving down here does. But it's been a while since I've driven. I mean, I didn't drive for 21 years, so
Wow.
you know. So yeah, I just got my license in August again, and so driving that 2,500 miles by myself was a challenge.
I spent some time
I
in
bet.
Florida. It was all right. I've decided I'm not moving there though until I have to by law, and that's like when you're 65. Like you have to move there.
Yeah. So what do
Getting
they call
close, but I'm not. I'm not there yet.
Florida's like God's waiting room. Is that what they call it?
I hate to
There are
think of it
certain
that way.
cities that, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We're
it's
talking about lights.
The
Okay.
horse, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I thought I'd tell you my story about lights, not
Great.
orbs. Okay, I go to a place and it's part of Swift Mud, so it's got a lock. You have to lock yourself in, which is a little scary. And so I went one night and I drove all the way to where I camped, which was about 3 miles, and there was no one in the campground. I mean, I locked myself in and drove all the way there. So later that evening, I decided to take a walk down the road and back towards where I'd come in. And I'm walking, and it was like car headlights coming up behind me. And there was nobody there. I knew that. And there was no sound. I mean, there was just the regular sounds. There was no motor sounds. And I turned around and looked, and there was nothing there. And it's like, are my eyes just playing tricks on me? I mean, what was that? So I turned back and started walking a little further, and it happened again, just like lights, like a headlights coming up behind me. And I turned around again, and there was nothing. And so there were no orbs, just this weird light behind me. So then I decided to go back to the car, but there was nothing else the rest of the night. It was just a very odd experience.
So so everything, like, you were lit up from behind for a moment, like you thought there was a car behind you, so you saw. That's odd.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of freaky. I think that would make me a little like, what the heck, you know? Because I know exactly.
That's cool, though.
I can see what you're describing.
Yeah.
You see lights projected ahead of you, like they're coming up from behind you, and then all of a sudden you turn around, nothing there. Yeah, that'd be kind of freaky.
Wow.
Very weird, but I've never seen an orb proper. But I have been in that area. I was paced by something.
Oh wow.
So they're around.
So when you say paced, you were paralleled, like walked out or whatever. They were off to your side.
It is particular. Yeah, but you know how it is in Florida. You don't have to get very far away before you can't see what's in the bushes. And it was just walking beside me. And I walked from the campground early in the morning out to a big meadow. And it walked all the way. And there was a porta potty down there. It was almost a quarter of a mile. I don't know who decided to put the porta potty that far from the campground. But it walked me the whole way. And I walked past the porta potty just to see, and it went with me. And then I came back, and it came back. And I thought, I'm going to walk out in the meadow and see what happens, but it quit. It wasn't going to play around anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I did learn very quickly how thick the bushes, the shrubs, the foliage is here. Like we went out, I was with Mark Newbill, and he was like, "Oh, just stay here for a minute." And he starts into the bushes, the trees and stuff, and he got out of sight real quick. So I was like, oh, hell no. And I was filming, so I just walked right in after him because I didn't want him. Once he was out of sight, I was like, I had to make sure he was safe. So, and I even asked him, I said, you don't mind that I came in here, do you? I didn't want to piss him off or anything. I'm the new guy, but yeah, I couldn't let him be in there by himself. So it's thick, guys. If any doubts, it's thick.
Yeah, like where you're at, Mogs. That's like it's most of what is it like saw palmettos and palm trees and like
where I am, where I'm living now. I'm on the Gulf Coast. Yeah, there's a lot of palm trees and a lot of different palm trees, date palms, and just, I don't know them all. It's very tropical.
Yeah,
you
That's
get that vibe.
stuff. Like those saw palmettos can hurt you, man, if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, they're sharp.
Yeah.
Hence the name.
Yeah, my area has a lot of the slash pines.
What are they?
Slash pine.
Slash pine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they seem to like pine.
Yeah, that's funny.
Pine straws.
I grew up. I never knew what kind of pine trees were when I was a kid. What kind of pine trees those were that I grew up around. It's just weird. But the ones down here remind me of that.
Yeah.
Like the pine barrens in New Jersey. It's
Right.
a different kind of pine tree, and that's kind of what reminds me down here. When I was driving through like the Panhandle and stuff, and I started seeing those pine trees, I was like, "Wow, this looks familiar."
Yeah. It seems like the more pine is around, well, I can explain why. Probably just like you probably really understand it. A lot of encounters and stuff like that is very heavily pine tree. It gives a lot of cover. So
there's tons of cover out here, just with the palmettos and
right.
And, yeah, I mean, I have footage of just walls of palmettos and I'm looking at these little openings trying to catch something going back and forth.
Right.
I'm still going through footage. This is weird getting into the research part of it, where I actually have to go through this footage and review and I took the time to film it. I have to take the time to review it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
some of that does get tedious though when you get down to it. You're like, yeah, you're having a blast while you're filming and everything, but then you're like, man, I got to go through all that
and review it. Yeah, I mean, the footage is being reviewed by someone else.
Yeah.
But it's my footage. I want to check it out.
Right. It's like the same thing when I like with audio recorders, man. I leave one out recording and then it's like, oh man, now I got like 16 hours of audio recording to go through,
Yeah, that was the issue. They put out a few recorders overnight, and same thing. Who the hell wants to sit there and listen to all that audio? But
yeah, it's part of it though.
Yeah.
It's part of it. It's not all glamorous.
Satch Squatch, where are you from?
Oh, New York. Western New York. Yep. Love it.
Livewire says, I still go through footage and pictures from last year and 2019. Because it's easy to accumulate it.
Oh, yeah.
When you are out on the field and there's a whole lot of greenery in front of you, somebody taught me this little tip to narrow your field. Like just look at certain spots and concentrate on where you're looking so that you don't have all this in front of you. So you're kind of focused on one particular area, which was a good tip.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I did with my when I filmed the tree line. I just put the camera on a tripod, set it up on a picnic table, pointed it in one direction, and picked out certain areas and just let it run on that area for 30 minutes, and then move it over for another 30 minutes somewhere else, but I worked that tree line. So that's a lot of, 30 minutes at a time. Each video, I got to go review all that. But it's not as bad as it seems because it's the same thing. It's the same picture over and over and over again. So you get all of a sudden, if something moves, you see it. You get used to seeing it, plus you can fast forward and pick up little things. I haven't found anything yet. But it's kind of it's annoying, but it's fun.
Yeah. I've got one video that I think I took it like I think it was 2 years ago. I still go back and I still look at it. I'm still determined. I'm like, I'm going to figure out what this is. And it's like, I was out one day and I heard first I thought it was a tree falling to the ground. Where actually what it was just branches that were being broken off a tree, because I'd seen them and I could see something hit the ground up ahead of me, and I thought, okay, well, maybe a tree fell. Those are some branches, so I'm going to find out. So I'm heading towards it just to see, because we know that occasionally they'll push over trees. But this didn't seem like it because it came from above, right? So I'm walking over, and sure enough, I find all these branches freshly broken. They're laying on the ground, and I was filming at the time, showing, hey, all these fresh branches cracked, and then there was a big piece of tree laying on the ground. Well, I went back through that video, and just real quick, and I keep looking at it, man. I'm determined. I keep looking at it. I'm panning the camera, looking to see off in the distance, and just in one side, like pretty far away, you could see something. I don't know what it is. It was dark. It was large because it was at such a distance, but I could still see it. So that told me it was big, whatever it was. And it was moving, and it's like really quick. And I'm like, what is that? And because I didn't see it when I was panning.
Sure.
I did not see it then. I didn't see it until I went back into the video to watch it and go, then I went, holy crap, what is that?
Long Island Bigfoot had a question. He says, what did the Bigfoot look like that you first encountered?
Who, me?
Yes. Satch.
Oh, well, that was last year. And I call him Rasta now, and that's just for various reasons. I tried to draw him, and I made him look like he had dreadlocks, so I ended up calling him Rasta. But I can kind of get why some people say that, well, it looked like a cross between, an ape man. But I wouldn't have classified what I saw as an ape. He was really big, I'm 5'10". He stood about 1.5 feet, probably at least taller than me. So around the 7.5 foot range. His face was kind of human, but not. Really deep set eyes. I didn't see any whites around his eyes. Like, I couldn't tell you what color they were. They just looked dark and deep set, flat nose, wide nose, big jaw, wide, thin lips. And he had dark, really, really dark brown or black. I say black because it was so dark. Hair. And like down to his shoulders, hanging in front of huge, man. Huge. People talk about, when people used to tell me, oh, shoulders were 3 feet. You don't really grasp how wide they are until you actually lay eyes. And I've 43 years of wandering the forests finally, and you're not prepared for it. Because the only reason I saw him is because this is the situation. I was walking back there to get a walking stick or a hiking stick that I'd left there the week before when I was casting a track. And I was just heading back there, and you were talking about cdsquatcher. You were talking about having your vision focused. Well, at the time, my vision was focused on this tree, which was a hardwood tree that I'd seen there before, and it had this weird configuration of pine branches stuck in the fork of it. The fork of it was about 7 feet off the ground, and there's no pine trees like right near it, so that would explain, well, pine branches just fell into it. Weirdest thing I'd ever seen. Right ahead of me, as I'm looking slightly to my left at this tree to see if anything's changed, about 15 feet ahead of me, this deer just explodes out of this grass in front of me where it was hiding. And I looked to the left as it jumped and ran, and I'm watching it. And then as soon as that happened, there was this scream, and something hit the tree next to me, and another scream, and I look over, and there he was, standing there. I mean, just looking at me. And it takes me longer to describe it than the situation actually happened.
Sure.
And I was not prepared, man, for what I was going to see. Now, I've caught one out of the corner of my eye before, but I've never had a really good look at one. And this one, I mean, they look primitive, but they didn't look like, I wouldn't say, oh, he looked like a gorilla. Because he didn't look like a gorilla. He didn't look like a man, but he didn't look like a gorilla either. And just huge and muscular and standing there breathing through his nose. He didn't make any kind of threatening gestures towards me, didn't bare his teeth. After that, he just stood there. I did one of these numbers and started back up 3 steps. Whoa. And turned slightly. Didn't turn my back on him. I was afraid to do that.
Sure.
Started to head back up the trail towards my Jeep. He never followed me. He just let me go. And to this day, even though I had to come home and change my shorts after that, I still want to see him again. Only I want to see him under better circumstances. I think he was hunting that deer. That's the only thing I can come up with. He was stalking that deer, and I screwed up his day.
Let me just stop real quick. Justin Goodearth, what's happening, man? Good to see you. See, you're muted.
Am I unmuted now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. How's it going?
Hey, I've been wanting to come on and talk to you for a long time. Actually, I watch your shows all the time, but I don't chat a whole lot because I'm usually working on stuff.
Right on.
And here when I'm, I put you on in the background and watch and listen and work. Along with a lot of other shows, I don't.
Well, we've been shit. How long? In other chats, we've been over a year. We've been hanging out in chats together. I guess I've seen you around for a long time.
Yeah. I started getting into a lot of this group or people in this group from Paranormal Portal.
Buddy Mike.
Yeah. I went out and met Brent and Duke and everybody out in Coloma that time.
Yeah. I saw that. That's awesome, man. How was that?
That was amazing. I had a great time out there. And those people, all of them, were just stand-up people. Even, Cha-Cha, Titan, everybody up there, they were just all amazing people. And Duke really helped me out. I'm trying to keep. I'm a habitual cursor. So
you know where you are, right?
Duke is awesome, man. That guy. I broke down when I was in Coloma.
I remember that.
My car broke down, and it's a Mercedes. I took a Mercedes out into the woods to an old gold mine or an old mining
ghost town.
Yeah. out in dirt roads and everything. But anyway, it didn't. None of that affected it. It was my air conditioner compressor went out, and the belt just exploded, and I got stuck on the side of the road outside of Missoula, and Duke took me in. He said, "You can come stay with me." I stayed in a hotel one night, but Duke let me stay at his place and until it was fixed, and it was awesome.
Right on, man.
And we sat and watched videos of all this footage and everything that I didn't realize. Even going back through his YouTube channel, you have to go through so many videos to see all of this stuff that he was showing me, and I just couldn't believe it. So and I had to go back after he showed me each of these individual videos. I had to go back through them all and look at all of these videos and watch them and put them together. But it was amazing.
Yeah, Duke's awesome. I was supposed to go on that trip originally, and it just didn't work out that way. So when this trip came up, I was like, yeah, I'll do this, and then I had to back out, but it worked out anyway that I got to do this expedition. So that was cool. But yeah, I'd love to get up and hang out with Duke up in Montana. I've never been up that way.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'm not driving though. I'll fly in.
I gotta say goodnight. I'm a working girl. I gotta work in the morning. So I thank you for letting me come on your show.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime, hon.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay.
See you soon.
Good night. Okay.
Hey Justin, if you can tell me anyway, what was the coolest thing you saw in those videos?
In those videos of Duke's?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the guy, but it was a guy, I believe it was in Canada, that was. I'll have to tell you my issue. I don't watch a lot of videos that are just real short because I'm usually doing stuff. So I like to play things in the background that spend some time that I can learn and listen to while I'm working. And so I hadn't seen many of these because the guy's videos were really short, like 10-minute, 8 to 10-minute videos. And so I wasn't that into it until Duke showed me each individual clip. And I don't know who it is. Duke will have to tell you because I can't remember. But they were just really. He had a ton of videos, honestly, that I was really.
He says Blaine Tyler, probably.
Yes, it was Blaine Tyler.
Right on.
And those were amazing. But everything. All of those guys were amazing when I went out there and met them, and it really sparked my interest into all of these channels and everybody involved. All of chat. And
it's
unfortunately I don't chat a lot.
It's an interesting, genre, if you will. And the people involved are just awesome. Yeah, you can get cattiness between certain groups or whatever, but in general, the people in this community are amazing.
Yeah, it's really few and far between, honestly.
Yeah,
that's not really what got me into this whole subject. That's what I actually wanted.
I stumbled into it.
I was waiting for time to send you an email and tell you about my experiences and everything, and do the WTF thing. But I've had a lot of experiences. It started when I was a little kid, actually. I didn't really attribute it to Sasquatch at the time because it wasn't a popular talking point or whatever where I was at, which was amazing because I was not far from Falk, Arkansas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had
my favorite movies.
Yeah. My brother and I we were out. We used to go exploring all the time out in the woods and everything. And we went to the woods to one of our favorite spots. It was a cliff side that it went for miles. out there in the woods, and it was in the Ozarks, and we were out there just screwing around, and we found this cave, and we got the idea, we're going to go in this cave and see what's in there and pull out artifacts. We thought we were like Indiana Jones and shit, when we were kids. And I was like, all right, I'm going. And my brother was like, I'm going to go first. He wanted to be the lead guy or whatever. And so he crawls into this cave, and he comes immediately crawling back out. And you could hear this horrible sound. It's like, and it turns out there was a couple of turkey buzzards in there that he got puked on.
They do that. They'll throw up on you.
Yeah, they throw up on you as a defense memechanism. It's really gross, and it stinks like hell.
I have never heard that ever before in my life.
Oh yeah, yeah. Turkey vulture will throw up on you.
It happens.
We got them around here. I guess I'll watch out from now on.
Yeah, but they ran him out of the little cave, and they came chasing after him, out of the cave. And so I swatted him away with a stick that I had, I was using for a walking stick, and they ran off. So then the cave was empty. So then I went in, and there, and there was bones and stuff immediately I saw these 2 large skulls, and I called my brother, I said, the cave is empty. There's no more buzzards in here. And he crawled in, and we pulled out these skulls and a bunch of other bones and everything. But they were really large skulls. They were bigger than our heads were at the time, with meat on them. So we took these skulls and a bunch of bones and everything home. We like carried all this crap back to our house. And our mom was looking at them. We were like, what is this? It looked like, big monkey skulls. But they had condylar heads and really big jaws, really big teeth, way bigger than everything that we have as humans, and even my stepdad, who was a TV evangelist at the time.
Oh, wow.
He was baffled. He was like, this thing is bigger than my head. And so they called the closest college, which was Arkansas State. They were outside of Fayetteville. We were in like a Huntsville area. But sorry, they called them, and they sent someone out, and my mom and stepdad just gave them these bones and skulls, and apparently that they gave them to the Smithsonian.
Oh no! Never be
then
seen
they
again.
disappeared.
Yeah,
that's it.
we were told we could go and see it on display or whatever, and we went, and they weren't there. And we asked people, and they gave us no information.
When you were as you were telling this story, in my head, I kept saying, "Please don't say Miss Smithsonian. Please don't say Miss Smithsonian." Like it just
no. And when people talk about not finding bones, not finding proof, not finding whatever, that just immediately comes into my mind. I'm like, people have found proof. People have found bones. People have found artifacts. They just get squirreled away. They get stolen. They get bought. People are greedy.
Sure.
So I told my wife about the Smithsonian mugs, and she's like, no. And I'm like, okay. But I'll bet you they have some bones squirreled away, some drawers, man. They just shut them up, and boom, that's it.
Well, that last scene of Indiana Jones where they just wheel that crate into that room with all those other crates, that's just, I'm sure that's real.
Right. Well, it doesn't meet mainstream academia standards or whatever, that would screw a lot of people's thesis up.
Long Island Bigfoot asks, in Arkansas, do Bigfoot throw little rocks? Oh, shit. That was good, Mike.
I never got a rock thrown at me in Arkansas, but in Oregon, they throw big rocks.
Yeah.
I had one thrown at me last winter.
There was something getting thrown into our
ago.
camp when we were up there and, on this expedition. It was weird because Stevie was sitting there. She got something landed in her lap. And then I heard something land behind her. And then Barry Browning sat down on a chair with his back to the fence. And behind us is a field. And something landed right behind him. And he was like, what the hell is that? So something was throwing. I don't know what it was. I don't know what was getting thrown, but there was shit being thrown.
I had my first actual experience besides finding bones of something weird. Me and my friend Jake, we were like 14 years old. As shortly after I moved to Oregon with my dad, I traveled a lot of years with my dad and a bunch of outlaw MC bikers. And that's how I ended up in Oregon. I was born in Arkansas and lived with my evangelist mother and stepdad. And then I ended up running away, and I went with my dad and started traveling all over the U.S. with all these bikers. Shit. And anyway, we ended up in Oregon, and I met some friends, and I went out with my friend Jake and his mom out to this camping trip on the river. And long story short, his mom got really drunk and locked herself into the car, and Jake and I had tents set up out at the campsite alongside of the river, and we started hearing this noise. It was like we'd hear a big splash, and then we would hear what sounded like cans, like aluminum cans or something rolling down a hill, like this real tinny crashing aluminum can sound or whatever. And then we started hearing what sounded like something like a cow drowning in the water, like its nostrils were just above water and it was snorting like this weird, really moist sound, you know. So we ran down the river to see what the heck's going on. We thought we were going to see a cow drowning or floating down the Chutes River. You know, it's a big river. And nothing. We were like, what the heck is that? So we go back up to the camp, you know, we're hanging out, and we hear it again. Splash, splash, and then this noise, and we run down there as fast as we could. Jake had this one of those old, you remember the old mag lights, like it took 12
G batteries, yeah.
It has big old cop light or whatever, but it was mad.
Yeah.
You kill somebody with them things.
Yeah, it's like a million candle, you know, whatever. He grabbed that flashlight and ran down there and turned it on, and we could see shale rolling down the other side of the bank. And that was what was making the aluminum can sound. It was this shale rock. It was just crashing down the other side of the bank. And so Jake took his flashlight and he followed that shale up where it was falling from. And there was this huge creature standing on the other side of the river. And it just reached down and grabbed a massive rock and just went and chucked it. And it went almost all the way across the river, it's a good 100 feet.
Wow.
Across that river. And it splashed in the water, and this thing started going making this noise that we thought was a drowning cow. But we could see this figure. We couldn't make out its features or whatever. It was just a shadow, you know, like a silhouette against the cliffside on the other side of the river. But it was massive. And for it to pick up that large of a rock and chuck it, just like throwing a free, you know,
yeah,
three-pointer, fucking Bigfoot basketball. We were just freaking out. We just stood there, and Jake just stood there with his light shining on this thing, and it was freaking out the whole time. It kept throwing rocks and everything, and it kept going back down over an embankment on the other side of the river and then coming back up. And so we go back up to the car, up to the camp, and Jake I didn't have any weapons other than a knife or whatever. Jake had a carbine rifle and a sawed-off 12 gauge. And he gave me the stupid 12 gauge, which, you know, it was only accurate. It had double odd in there, but it was only accurate to about 10 feet.
Close range.
Because it was sawed off.
But at close range, it'll get its point across.
No, it won't. He tried to shoot a bird with it earlier that day, and it left a pattern all the way around the bird. And the bird was still standing there. Bird was like, "What the hell?" All the foliage was gone all around the whole bird. So I got the stupid 12 gauge. He had an M1 carbine, and we go back down there, and this thing is it's making noise. It's not making an appearance anymore, but it's making a whole lot of noise, throwing rocks and everything. And we're freaked out. We're like 14 years old, out in the middle of nowhere. And his mom was passed out drunk in the car with the doors locked. We couldn't wake her up. We kept banging on the doors and on the windows and, "Come on, Cheryl, come on." And she wouldn't wake up. So Jake and I just sat there by the campfire, listening to this thing grunt around and make all this noise the whole freaking night. It was scary as hell.
It makes for a long night.
Yeah. We bailed as soon as we could get her awake. As soon as we got her awake, we made her come outside. She heard it and was like, "Okay, we're going."
Yeah, I don't know what I would have done at 14. I mean, that's when I really started all this myself, was when I was 14 and found a footprint by a creek and what now I believe was an actual nest, basically, big dome structure, stunk like hell. But it's probably good it took me 43 years to actually see one, because at 14, if I'd actually seen one, and I'm only judging it by what I saw last year, if I'd have seen that when I was 14, I probably would have been scared shitless and never went back in the woods ever again. So it's probably good, but I still wasn't prepared, man. I don't think you ever are, really.
Well, it didn't scare me out of the woods. I assumed it was some kind of Sasquatch or something, but I'd never really been interested in Sasquatch or even thought about it, Even though we found skulls when I was a little kid, I was like, well, this is, it's like the missing link. It's a great ape or something that went extinct a long time ago or whatever. I was young and dumb. I didn't put two and two together that these bones wouldn't have lasted if this was an extinct great ape in this cave with these buzzards and everything else. These were new. But I didn't put all that together, and I didn't think anything about Sasquatch until that situation happened. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in Oregon. Bigfoot lives in Oregon, so it's
right.
This is a new thing I'm going to have to get used to. And so it wasn't until then that I actually started paying attention to it and everything. And I've had other encounters, but they were all audio, It was shit I heard. I never saw anything after that.
Yeah, I had some audio stuff too come from our camp. But we didn't record anything that night. We did hear a growl. Two of us heard something that, by the next day, I thought it was a horse when it happened, but the next day I heard the horse, and there was no way in hell it was a horse. And that's when it kind of freaked me out a little bit, when I realized it wasn't what I thought it was originally. That's
kind of honestly a common report.
Horses can make some funny noises, but I've never heard one growl.
No, it was too deep. It was too big, but the way it made the noise, it made me think of a horse.
Okay.
Knowing that there were horses there, but Stevie heard it and she immediately said that was a growl. And then she said it sounded like a Sasquatch belching, like a deep, belly belch, something loud. And when she said that, I was like, oh, I could hear that. Yeah, I could, I could see why you would say that.
I guess they got a burp every now and then too.
But it was close. Because after I heard how far the horses were, I was like, oh no, that was, half the distance between us, at least.
My lights are going down. You got to put all the girls to bed.
Aw.
Aw. Look how cute. Look how cute.
Yeah, it's funny. I moved to, I lived in Arizona and they just passed, it was legal. Now I'm in Florida.
They just made it legal here.
Well, at least your government is a lot more solid in Florida. It's pretty good in Arizona too, compared to Oregon. God, we're flooded with commies.
So Lockbeard goes back to his favorite question. If you find a body, how would you go about revealing it for all and preventing the MIB from confiscating it?
I've often thought about that myself.
I don't know. I don't know that you should take the whole body, just,
a piece of it.
Evidence, a hand, a head, whatever.
I would save as much evidence as I could personally in some kind of archive, and I would just go immediately public. I would find the most public source and just come out with it, not even entrust it to somebody else. I would just put it out. And
now there might be come across an actual body though. You might not have to worry about MIB originally. I mean, you might have to worry about others being around, and how are you going to get a piece of that body in the first place? I mean, suppose they have some kind of death rituals, or they respect their dead, or even if they bury their dead, maybe one of them's coming back for it. I mean.
Well, again, it's a hypothetical question, so
right.
It's just
right. It'd be kind of hard, but you're right. I mean, it'd be kind of hard
to get rid of a
whole body.
A whole body? No. If in a situation like that, it depends on the situation, but I don't think you're gonna. You would need a crew to move a body. So something's going with me. Something else is going with me.
Yeah. Well, it'd have to be that way because, I mean, well, look, if you take into some of the considerations, some of the accounts of people having actually killed one, but where's that body? It disappears. I don't know if you've ever, are you familiar with the story of Frank Peterson?
Refresh my memory.
Well, I can't remember exactly what state it's in, but it's over this way. He had a cabin out in the basically middle of nowhere that he had a hunting cabin, and he had a Sasquatch coming around there. Well, he ended up killing it, shooting it and killing it, and he felt bad about it afterwards. And he basically buried it, and he never told anybody about it. Until like much later on in life. He's actually got it. They've actually videotaped this thing, and from what I saw, he's not hoaxing anything. That looked like a real freaking Bigfoot body that they had killed. Nobody's ever been able to find the body. The cabin's gone now, and nobody's ever been able to find where he actually buried it. But I think it's his granddaughter that still has the film and everything that I think there was a friend with him too.
Where was that at?
I can't remember the state. The guy's name is Frank Peterson, and there's a big movie about it too. They made a movie about it called Devil on the Mountain or something like that. But it's based on actually what happened to him. Yeah, and I mean, so there you go. I mean, that one is easy to say, but if they'd be able to find that body, it would disappear, right? So the only thing they got going for him now is, of course, they would say discredit him and say, well, the film is a hoax. What he filmed is a hoax. But it didn't look like a hoax to me, and it didn't look like a hoax to a lot of people. So
There's always going to be people that are going to try to discredit it, no matter what. Patrick Vaughn says, I nominate Mogs to walk up to one and collect hair and stool samples. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I think those little cups aren't going to work.
In what order?
Yeah, what order, right?
Either one of those, I'm not down for it. I'd try the hair first, but I'm not.
I got to give some shout outs. I see a lot of different people in here that I missed. Dan, Daily Blog, what's up? Gemini Moon, good to see you, Gem. Romeo, glad you're here. Yeah, that's it. Mr. Lee 3PO says, how does Justin rate OG Kush?
That's so old school. OG Kush is pretty cool as a base.
I think he asked about wedding cake too.
Yeah, there are so many cake and cookie strains.
Cookies, yeah.
It's just absolutely insane. I've got some. This is ice. Fat purple. And it's actually it is purple.
Oh, that kind of looks like what I got.
That's something out of like that's shit you see in High Times magazine. Who else is here? I just saw Josh. What's up, man?
I'm actually a contractor that I work for a lot of farms in my region. I got my business license, got all legal to work with cannabis and everything, all my cards and everything. And I basically just farm out my skills to these indoor and outdoor cannabis farms. And so
right on.
You don't have to be a grower or a dispensary or whatever to make money in this industry. If your state goes legal or whatever, you can do a lot of different things, And that's what I do. I hire myself out to all these farms because I know what I'm doing, and they can just pay an hourly rate or a set rate. I can give them a bid and say I'll get all these lights changed, or rebuild all your HVAC for X dollars, and they don't have to worry about whether I know what I'm doing and whether I'm gonna steal anything or what.
Sure.
So they already know, and I have a reputation and a portfolio I can show them.
Right on, man.
So it's a pretty good gig.
I support what you do.
Yeah.
Prairie Fire, what's up? New York Bigfoot Society, good to see you. Sorry, I try to get these shout outs.
I want to shout out Bigfoot Michigan Rob or Rick Harrison, if that's that dude. It was on Pawn Stars. I swear to God, Rob was.
Yeah, he's got that look, definitely.
Oh, I love
That's
that
fun.
name, Cashew Gesundheit.
Cashew is cool as hell.
Hey, Cashew, what's up?
I love
Cashew
that.
in all kinds of chats. I watch.
Cashew Gesundheit. I love it.
Cashew is always there.
Yeah, she's a great moderator. Good person, She's I'm glad she's here. I didn't see her earlier. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Who else? So what was Coloma like, dude? Did you guys see anything? Get any good, videos, anything?
Yeah, there was actually a lot of EMF recordings that came out really crazy, and they did I can't remember what what it was called. It's a spirit box that was specially designed by some guy that Brent brought out. And they did that in all of these different cabins. There was 85 different structures out there.
Oh, wow.
These old cabins. There were mine holes and everything. I kept trying to get Brent and those guys to do the spirit box at the mine holes, because, to me, that's, if somebody was trapped in the mines or died in the mines or whatever, there was so many crystals, and geologically it was just insane.
Oh, wow.
In these mine holes.
Wasn't there a cemetery there too?
Not that I saw. No. We didn't see a cemetery, but there's a lot of like monolith looking stones.
Oh yeah, I saw those.
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure that they're monoliths, because it kind of looks like they were sandstone. I'm into geology pretty hard, and it almost looks like they were sandstone that was pushed up by some sort of tectonic force, and then what they were mainly mining in that area was called beryllite, and it's a kind of a soapstone material they used to make linoleum floors and stuff like that with way back in the day. But it's really erosive, so it looked like that material had eroded between all of these things and they were just left standing. But I always try to debunk things first, and then whatever's left has to be true, right?
You would think. Yeah, I saw videos on that, so that I know what you're talking about. Those were cool rocks, the way they were standing up in the middle of nowhere, up on that mountain.
And some of them are unexplainable, because they kind of stand up, and they're not really close enough to it. It would have to have been a huge vein of material that eroded out between them in order for them to be a natural occurrence. So there's a lot of areas up there that really truly look like something erected by either Native Americans or somebody way in the past.
Sure.
Whatever. That were really strange. But there was a whole lot of weird things that happened. Those guys, I was standing on the side of the road waiting for those guys to come by and pick me up so we could go up to the cabin and do the whole ghost box thing and everything at night. And they drove right by me. Brent and Don, I was 10 feet from the road, and they drove right by me. I was like, if I was a Bigfoot, you save me. What kind of researchers are you guys, man? I had to walk.
Oh, really?
They were almost done.
Jeez.
Crap. But I was in the camp waiting to see if they were going to come back, because I was texting Brent and I'm calling on the radio and shit, and they weren't coming back, and something started throwing pine cones at me. I don't know if it was squirrels or what the hell, but something was throwing pine cones at me.
Squirrels can drop them on you, but they don't throw them.
Dude, squirrels do not throw pine cones, man. My very first encounter included pine cones, and that's what the guys that were camping with me said when these pine cones started landing in our camp from the tree line. He's like, oh, it's just a squirrel. And I'm like, what squirrel do you know, man, can throw a pine cone like 25, 30 feet?
I've never known a squirrel to throw anything at me before. I mean, I've seen them drop stuff, but that's by accident. They're trying to hold on to the nut typically. They don't throw it. They might chatter a whole bunch, but I've never had a squirrel throw anything at me. But I'm just thinking, what in the world would be throwing pine cones at me? And whether they're trying to get my attention or run me off or whatever, it doesn't seem like they're trying to run me off, because they could have done it a whole lot more,
heavier.
Effectively.
When I was camped between two of the cabins that were out there, these are just like dilapidated old cabins. The roofs were all caved in and everything. They've been out there for, 150 years. So I don't know what the hell. Duke told me that everybody that camps down there gets messed with. So I figured that was what was going on. I was probably getting messed with.
Duke's got a pretty good success rate with getting people out there and having some sort of experience. I think he said he was at like 85%.
Yeah, he took me out to some spots while I was down there. One of which was really tampered with by the local forestry department or whatever, and Duke was pretty pissed. We still found some stuff out there and some structures and areas, but it had been really kind of cleaned up.
Yeah,
forestry. He was pretty pissed about it. I still have a great time.
They'll just make more, X's and all that.
They just move further out or to a different region or whatever and make different structures.
Christy says, squirrel ran up my leg once.
Get humped in the knee.
That must have been rough.
I mean, I've had squirrels sit on my lap, but
my dad had a chipmunk run up his pant leg one time when he jumped out of the car to take a whiz.
Could you imagine trying to shake that out?
No doubt.
Hopefully it wasn't trying to harvest your nuts.
Exactly.
Duke says, I already found their new spot, Justin.
Nice.
Right on.
I know he would. Duke took me out in the woods, and Duke is like, you would think that he would keep things safe and on the on the path and all that. He's walks with a cane and everything. Well, this dude he would just go boop and take off out into the forest, off trail,
trailblazing,
through brush, down valleys and canyons, up the other side. We would go off into the canyon, the trail.
So who had the most trouble keeping up with him?
Yeah. I kept up, but I was just curious about everything, so I would always be behind. But you could just take off out into the woods, and it gave me so much more faith in his
process.
Yeah. His knowledge, the things that he had to see and the things that he told me, because you see all these guys out there and they stay on the trail, they go to these state parks or whatever, and they're just barely outside the campground filming or whatever. Not Duke, man. This dude would just take off.
Bigfoot Michigan Rob says, so I just put this show on my big screen and noticed Justin's unusual plants in the background.
Those are pretty usual for the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. It's nothing unusual about them.
Yeah, these are actually my Frank's gift mothers. They're a small batch they're almost 50-50. They were 24% THC and 20% CBD. So we've been holding on to this pheno for a long time because you can't find it anymore. It's gone away. And honestly, they've out here, for some reason, they've gotten away from a lot of the really high medicinal CBD plants. It's all THC. Everybody just wants to get stoned all the time. And it's not about that to us. We're a lot more into the medical side of it. We actually started growing because of my wife's nerve issues and everything. She got in an accident, screwed her neck up, and she started hearing about CBD and everything. I had been smoking before that, but I didn't grow.
Sure.
We grew our own vegetables and all that stuff, but never cannabis until she started learning about CBD and everything. So we just started growing it ourselves and processing ourselves and doing our own extraction and everything. And that's led to a whole new business for us.
Sure.
That's what she does is she sells CBD oils and salves and lotions and everything for pain relief. And
sure. And I used some on the trip on the expedition. Somebody had some CBD oil, and I had torn something in my thigh, and it helped. I was surprised,
Yeah, if you get the right stuff, it does.
Yeah.
I have a problem with it because there's so many fakes out there. I mean, so much crap you can buy off the shelves and you don't get anything from it. And then you're just like ruined you just like, oh, that shit didn't work on me.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But it has to be real. I mean, if it's real extracted, organically extracted, preferably from the plant, we just decarboxylate the plant and pull out the oils naturally. We don't use butane and all this happy crap, but it comes out really clean and it actually really works. It works for your muscles, your nerves, and it doesn't get you high at all. There's like less than 3% THC in the oil, so it's not gonna get you high. You're not gonna pop on a whiz quiz or whatever.
Right.
No, I know. Even Duke just said CBD works. Scotty B says I do 1,000 milligrams a day for his back.
It's way better than most of the pharmaceuticals out there that you're going to get to take care of that pain. And
it's just pathetic. I went into the emergency room one night for back issues, and it was just a big waste of time and money, because emergency room doctors, all they do is push drugs. If you're not dying or your arm's not hanging off, you go in there with pain, they're just going to push drugs.
Yeah, that's all they are. They're glorified drug dealers. They're just going to sell whatever pharmaceutical company is pumping,
And that's the way it was. I was insulted. I was like, I knew more about that doctor's golf game than I did what was wrong with my back.
That's why there's constant lawsuits.
No shit.
And Johnson & Johnson and everything. They've been caught so many times pushing shit that they know is bad for people. But they push it and the doctors sell it because it makes them money. It's a money game. They don't care about you.
And they don't. They're counting on you, actually.
Yeah, that's why it makes so hard. It makes me so hard. Everybody has a hard time trusting anything these days, really. But you should be able to trust your doctor.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you haven't gotten a doctor that you've had forever that you've trusted, you're it's kind of a crapshoot. You don't know who to believe and who not to.
I had a good one down in Virginia when I was living down there, man. Since I've moved back to New York, I haven't found one yet that, I'm like, whatever. My wife's like, you got to make a doctor's appointment. I'm like, there ain't none here, man.
I just want to say, Mark, good night. Good to see you. Saw this beast.
Yeah, I got to jump off too, Mubs. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure, man.
And thanks for talking, man. I've been wanting to talk to you for so long, man. So.
Oh, anytime.
It was nice talking to you, Satch Squatch.
And hey, Justin, good meeting you, man. Take care of them babies. And
oh yeah.
Thank God it's finally legal in New York, man. I love it.
Oh my God.
Hey, if I ever come up with something to share with you, man,
happen in New York.
If I come up with something to share, man, I'll let you know, man.
Right on. Well, if you ever want to vacation on the West Coast, man, I'll hook you up.
Awesome. I'll keep that in mind.
Right.
Maybe heading out there soon.
There's a lot to see out here.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Forestry is amazing out here.
Absolutely. All right, my brothers.
Thank you very much.
Happy
See
squash.
you again soon.
Bye, brother.
You too, man. Bye. Oh shit. Sorry, dude. Didn't mean to do that. As soon as I clicked it, it condensed, and I clicked it again. Excuse me. So yeah, you know, I moved to Florida, and I never got to see what I wanted to see while I was in Arizona. I wanted to do the Pacific Northwest. I wanted to do Wyoming and Montana, and I never did it.
Well, it's all still out there. You can do it anytime you want.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I meant to do it while I was there, but it's all right. There's so much in this country. Everybody's like, oh, I want to go overseas. I'm like, I want to see this country, you know?
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to travel with these bikers every year, and we would only stay in a city for long enough. Basically, I would just get my credits at whatever school and everything. The longest school before I got to Oregon, the longest school I ever stayed in was in Denver. I went to West High School in downtown Denver. That was only about 9 months or something like that.
Oh, wow.
But I got to see all these different cities and, you know, forestry areas, national parks, meet all these different cultures, all these different kind of people, you know, and it opened my mind so much.
No, that's good, man. I mean, it worked for you, you know?
Right.
You weren't, you know, you were at an age where you could appreciate it, you know?
Yeah. And it was a really good thing that happened, you know, even though, you know, a lot of it was fairly negative and pretty brutal.
Oh, yeah.
At my age, that I was traveling with all these bikers and everything, a lot of shady things went down, you know.
Sure.
But I got to experience all these different cultures and everything, and it really opened my mind to different possibilities, you know, which were, I was growing up, it was all just, we were rebelling already anyway, because our mom, my mother and sisters and our mom was highly religious, and she didn't like anything that we liked, you know. So any of the music we liked, it was all devil music and whatever. So we rebelled. Most of us learned the hard way, you know.
How old are you?
I'm 48.
Okay. So I was thinking about the music and, you know.
Okay, it's your turn. How old are you?
53.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Grew up in the 70s.
Yeah, you're not that far ahead of me.
No.
He's my age.
Yeah, you're my wife's age.
Right on.
She's listening over here in the back. Come here, say hi to Mo.
Very cool.
And the clan. Mogollon.
Hi.
All right.
Jackie.
Pleasure.
We've been married for 28 years now.
Oh, God bless you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Raised a bunch of kids, and none of them want to have kids except for one.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's amazing. 28 years. Congratulations. That's an accomplishment. You know, it takes a lot of work because too many people are so quick to just, you know, get married and then bail. You know, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, people don't want to put in the work, you know. But it's, I don't know. If you love somebody, you should.
I mean, there's
work at it.
Absolutely.
And that's it. It's work in progress, and we've gone through our shit, but I'm still here.
And here you are, and that's amazing. That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Encountered Sasquatches together.
And we still love each other.
We haven't killed each other.
And, she hadn't killed me yet. She's had many chances to, too.
Oh yeah.
I sleep well.
That's amazing. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's lame that it's so rare. You know, we only know like 2.
And this was
other couples that have been married anywhere remotely close.
And this was our first marriage, either one.
Fantastic.
Neither one of us have been married.
I had a child before we got married, but there was never a marriage. And I knew I was only getting married once. That was it.
Weird thing is that child is the only one that's had kids.
Yeah.
None of my kids have kids. I'm like, come on, man. We gotta carry on my name. It came from my balls, nigga. See that out loud?
Yeah,
You did.
Oh, damn it.
I did daycare and in-home daycare, so our kids grew up with a lot of other kids, which
we didn't really live in an affluent neighborhood. And the kids that she watched, she ended up with a lot of special needs kids because she would watch them for the state fee of $3 an hour.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous for a special needs kid. So she ended up with a lot of autistic kids and
special needs.
Yeah. Kids that had a lot of problems in the hood. Because we didn't really live in,
Sure.
We lived in North Portland. And it was mostly Black and Hispanic. And
I had some rough kids.
Not to disparage Black and Hispanics, but they were kind of. Portland is racist. They pushed them into this corner of Portland, which we lived in, and we got along. We used to have the greatest barbecues with everybody out there. But because nobody could afford, a regular daycare or whatever, we would always have all the crazy kids. And so our kids are like, that was too much.
Oh. But looking back, I'm sure you wouldn't change a thing.
No.
Yeah, I'm still pushing. It's never too late. Never too late for a grandkid.
Right on. That's awesome.
No, they're talking about it. They would love to have kids, but they're kind of waiting. It's
it's tough. It's tough to bring a child into the world today, and with such uncertainty going on, and
but at the same time, we should be bringing children in that are smart, that are going to take over, because this is our future. Our
absolutely
future,
Well,
our oldest together he was in the avionics division in the Marine Corps, writing software for aircraft weapon systems.
He's smart as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, there's some smart kids out there, and those are the ones that need to take over. Those are the ones. He worked for Lockheed Martin in Southern California. Now he's going to Amsterdam to do more work over there. I don't know why we're shipping out all of our great minds to different countries. But
no, he's going to school over there.
Well, he is, but damn it.
But nonetheless, he's our oldest, and they eventually want to have kids, but they want to
live life
and have their schooling before, so they might be 40, 35, 40 before they have kids.
I'll be dead.
Shut up.
Yeah, I just became a grandfather a year ago.
Congrats, man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was a boy.
Were you there?
No, I was in Arizona. He was in New York or New Jersey, and it was cool because he was born on March 27th, and my birthday's the 27th. My sister's the 27th. My other sister's the 27th.
My daughter's is the
24th.
24th, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, and just 27's huge with us.
Yeah, mine is the 7th.
Hers is the 7th. Our daughter's is the 24th, and yours is the 27th. That's crazy.
Richie, thank you. Congratulations. Yeah, it was a surprise, when it happened, because I think my son was surprised too, because it happened pretty quick. Like she didn't know or whatever, but anyway, my son's a dad, which just freaks me out.
No, there's nothing like it when, especially with your first grandchild. It's like, holy shit.
Well, now I'm back on the East Coast, so hopefully they can get down here, and I want to see my grandson.
Have you not met him yet?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. No, he's just a year old. March 27th, he was a year. Like I said, I was in Arizona. I just got to Florida. So now that I'm closer, hopefully they can come down, or I'll go up there. But soon.
Yeah. Maybe you guys can meet halfway or something.
No, I'll get him here. I think it'll be a good time. I want to get my dad down here. I want to bring, he's still in Arizona, but I want him to come visit.
Oh, that would be great.
Take him fishing.
Your dad and to meet the grandson for the first time. That would be great.
It was weird. I'm not sure how many years ago it was. It was just about 3 years ago. I went on a fishing trip. I planned a fishing trip, and I flew my son in, and so it was myself, my dad, and my son. And my son was 21 or 22, and he hadn't met my father yet.
What?
So yeah. Because he was in New Jersey, my dad was in Arizona, and it just never happened. So, yeah, I filmed it. I don't know what happened to it, but they're meeting at the airport. When they met for the first time. It was pretty emotional.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not going to wait 21 years to meet my grandson.
Oh yeah, don't.
No.
There's nothing better than seeing a spawn from your own child. It's like, it is just the greatest feeling. It seriously is.
For a weekend. Then after that, it's like, okay, go back home.
Oh, isn't he cute? He's your problem.
Bye-bye.
Exactly.
Stop choking that chicken. Leave the chickens alone. The cat hates you.
Oh, jeez.
Our grandkids are
Megan, what's happening? Sorry.
it's all good.
She can tell you some stories about, I guess we both can, but
Megan says, hello everyone, it's good to know I am an original OG of the Moog Sasquatch channel. I've been here from the beginning when he was talking about possums and armadillos.
I hate
too
possums,
funny.
but armadillos are cool. Especially when they die, you can like prop them up on the side of the road with a beer bottle in their hand and stay there forever because they have an exoskeleton.
Oh, jeez.
You know that from the South, man. Drive through Texas and Oklahoma and shit. There's armadillos with beer bottles for miles. At least there used to be.
That's funny.
I don't know anything about that. I'm an Oregonian.
She can tell you though about being reunited. She lost her son. Can I talk about this?
Yeah.
She lost her son for a while. She hooked up with a shitty dude and they had a kid together. And the guy was totally his whole family was fraudulent. They were these kind of family that would open up a fraud business, take everybody's money, and they would leave the state.
Embezzlement.
Yeah, embezzlement and all this crap. And so they took off with her son. And she didn't find him until he was 14.
17.
17.
It was
Yeah.
14 years.
It was 14 years. That's what it was.
It was 14 years since I had seen him. The last I had seen him. I found him when he was 17.
Yeah, on MySpace.
MySpace.
Remember MySpace?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she found him on MySpace, and
So how did that turn out?
It was kind of rough at first. We had some issues. His dad wanted to check my attitude before he met me. But once I got to I think I spend more time with my son than, he talks to his dad. That's his dad. That's all he's known for years.
Sure.
But we have a good relationship.
That's good.
It just took a little bit of time. He had to get to know me and figure me out, and I had to figure him out, and he's like his fucking dad. I'm just like, oh, fuck. God damn. You're arrogant as shit.
I'm going to pop these headphones off. I'm going to unplug them. Hopefully I don't get an echo or give you guys an echo, but I think it'll be all right.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, perfect. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Oh, yeah. It's rough. I'm sort of in a situation like I haven't seen my daughter in 15, 16 years. It's just life happens. And,
Yeah.
I hadn't seen my son for a while, and then finally reunited with him. And I'm just, holding out and hoping that, my daughter comes around and wants to, meet again, and get involved in my life. I get it if she doesn't. It would be a shame. But it's up to her.
How old was she when last time you saw her?
$12, somewhere around there. 13. So it's been shit, 18 years. Damn.
wow.
I'm a shit.
Oh, shit, yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is, and the invite is there. My dad even talked to her and said, "Would you be willing to talk to your dad?" And she was like, "I'm just not ready for that yet." So hopefully,
there are two sides to every story, and for the most part with kids, they only hear one side, when they're separated parents.
Sure.
And it's like something that I had to ask my son. Last time I saw him, he was 3.5, and so he didn't really know me. He knew me, but then we were separated until he was like 17. So I had to ask him a lot of questions, but subtly, because he's all of a sudden, mom is in his life.
Sure.
And he's never known his mom since 3. And
It's a new concept.
yeah, so
Jeez.
I'm like, so have you asked your dad about me? What has your dad said about me? And I'm trying to be subtle about this stuff, because he's still like on guard.
Absolutely. He's going to protect his dad.
Yeah. And he was like, no, he really hasn't said anything. And I know for a fact that a child at the age of 3, when their mother is all of a sudden gone, they're asking, where's mom? Where's mom? So what has he told him? What has been said? And he was like, no, he just never talked about you.
Wow.
You know, a child growing up is going to ask questions, you know, especially most of the time it's a mom having a child and there are questions, where's your dad?
Sure.
But this was opposite and it was never discussed. It was like, we just didn't talk about it.
Wow.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry that you went through that. That's terrible. But I'm also glad that you guys are good now.
Yes, and it can happen.
Her relationship with her son is stronger than his relationship now because of it, though. Because now he knows that he calls her all the time.
He calls his dad too more often than he does me, but that's not the thing. Is that I have more of a relationship with my grandkids than his dad does.
Okay.
His dad doesn't even like his girl. He doesn't. No, I see the grandkids way more. So,
well, God willing, my situation will change, and my daughter will come around.
It will always change. It will always change. It just has to be the right time, the right atmosphere. But it will happen.
I believe it will. I'm looking forward to it. It's been too long, I let drinking get in the way and life get in the way, and
It happens.
And quit drinking. So life changes.
Mm-hmm.
People do change.
Yep.
People can change. Some people will argue that, but I'm proof. People can change. So
People do change.
We'll see what happens.
We've had a lot of really extreme change in our family several times. But she's an empath. She picks up on things.
Yep.
Right on.
So easily, and to a point where I have to try to protect her. I'm the rational one going, no, get away. And I run people off because
I am very susceptible to.
She wants to help every fucking buddy.
Yes.
And
it's not a flaw,
No.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not a flaw. It's just that she can't do it. She can't help everyone.
Well, it's not just that. It's I am being an empath. My empath is that I pick up on a lot of people's feelings, and it can harm me in some ways.
Sure. I've heard that.
Because it can be draining if I have negative people coming at me, or negative energies coming at me.
Sure.
It's very draining.
We go through sage like toilet paper.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, depending on who is around us. I mean,
good thing we grow it.
We just recently had for the past years, we had a roommate, and her daughter lives close to us, and so there's like conflict between the two of them all the fucking time. And so the roommate would come home and she'd be bitching, and I'm like, oh fuck, where's that guard?
It wasn't a standard roommate.
No.
She was a pro wrestler with some, I think, some past steroid issues.
Well,
No, little roid rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody that we brought around were actually thinking she was transvestite, which was not true. She was a female, but everybody thought she was a dude because of the roid use. And I think that's what contributed to it. She was just violent. She was angry.
When she'd drink, she'd just be
Right.
like fucking.
Definite chemical imbalance.
Oh yeah. And we just had to say that no, you can't drink around here. If you're going to live here, you cannot drink. It's not, because I'm a peaceful person and I pick up on shit like I just can't do it. It will make me sick. It's bad for me. The energy levels that I pick up on are just horrible. I mean, not all of them are horrible, but when it's a negative energy, it makes me sick.
Oh, I'm sure it kicks your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But beyond that one, I mean, she just picks up on all of these different people and she tries to help and everything. And that's why we're the yin and yang, because I'm the polar opposite. I'm like, get away, get away, get away.
Well, you keep on helping people. That seems to be your thing. That's awesome. And I'm so pleased to hear that you guys have been married so long. You know, keep going. Don't stop.
Oh yeah, we'll never stop.
It's not going to stop.
No, I know. Well, and you know, it's funny you said 28 years because my dad's second marriage lasted 28 years.
Lasted 28 years?
Yeah, then she walked out.
Oh.
It's all good. You think that that long
I got
secure.
I got a bunch of dirt on her. If she goes, I'm just gonna tell all the dirt. I'm gonna release the video.
That's awesome. Justin, I'm sorry. What is your wife's name?
Jackie.
Jackie, pleasure. I'm Russell.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go for now, and I want to thank you so much for coming on. That was really cool. Thanks for sharing it with me.
Thanks for
Justin. You're welcome. And you guys are welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
I always watch, man. I've been here on almost every one of your shows. I just don't chat a lot because and Cashew will tell you, and Duke, because they see me when I come in, but I just rarely come in and say hi or whatever. Because I'm usually working on something. And
no, I get it. But it's good to see you, man. I'm glad you chimed in tonight.
Yeah, I really enjoy your content, man. I love your channel.
Thank you very much.
You're giving a place for people to just say what they've experienced, and it's a comfortable place for people to go to actually talk about what's happened in their lives, and
sure, and
people don't typically accept,
It's and now it seems it's more of a hangout, and I'm glad that people are comfortable here,
And that's good. I mean, that's because there's a lot of places that you just like feel secluded. So it's good to have that.
Well, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Good for you.
You guys keep doing what you're doing because you're doing it right.
You too, man.
Every day.
I'm glad you've relocated, and I'm glad you're happy in Florida now, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I really think you're going to have a good time out there.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out. I really do.
You get a metal detector, and you need to also get out there and start fossil hunting, man. There's a lot of fossils in Florida.
and there's a lot of shipwrecks. So after the hurricanes, that's when you go hit the beach with the metal detector.
Hell yeah, get that pirate's booty.
All right, Justin, I'm going to say goodnight. And again, thank you so much. And don't be a stranger, man.
Yeah, I won't. I'll come around now that my cherries popped.
Thanks a lot, man. Have a great night.
Later, brother.
Peace. Wow. That was a good show, guys. You know, I was so pleased to have so many different shows, different guests. You know, Justin and his wife, thank you so much. I'm just sore. Yeah, everybody that joined me tonight, that was great. Satch, thank you. Who else was here? I select memory. Christine, thank you. And Murray was here in the beginning. Thank you guys for coming on tonight and just hanging out and sharing. You know, those are some good stories too. But yeah, we're 2 hours and 10 minutes. We made it. Amazingly. I don't even know how many shows we've done now so far. We've got to be encroaching on 80. But guys, I want to thank you so much for hanging out tonight, and everybody in chat, to my moderators, thank you. You guys rock. Remiel, hi and goodbye. I thought I said hi earlier. I might have. I don't know. But yeah, if you guys like the show, you know, hit that like button below. If you're new, subscribe and share it. Not a lot of people share videos. It's weird. Not mine, anyway. Once in a blue moon, so-and-so shared your video. I'm like, no shit. But yeah, leave comments too, because, you know, I love reading those comments, and I'll get back to you on those. So yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Well, it's Thursday. You got one day left, and you got the weekend, so right on. I will see you in chat somewhere. Hold on. Megan says... Megan says, Mogs, I have a joke. What do you call an 85-year-old cougar with a hearing aid? A deaf leopard. Funny. But yeah. Megan, thank you for that. On that note, I will say goodnight, and I will see you guys Tuesday. And, well, I'll see you before then somewhere. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Peace and God bless. Okay, this thing wouldn't end. I pushed it twice.